Hey, minions, I don't see any ones in the chat, unfortunately. I don't know what we're doing here. Come on, figure it out. Get it together. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the channel. Woo. What's up, everybody? Give me a second. I gotta put the music on.
I can't forget.
Music and Also, yeah, what's up? I hope you guys are having a great Tuesday evening. What do you think? We got crap all in front of us. Reason being is
we're saying, whoa, it's different.
Yeah, it's a little different. I didn't give anybody a heads up on that. We're moving some things around. So obviously you guys can't see what's going on over there. That way, you don't see what we got over there. There's not like a big coffin with dead people in it. So we got a lot of stuff over there. We're moving around. We're going through a big process of changing the studio up. And you guys are obviously getting first word on that. So this desk here, it's a pretty big desk, as you can see, right? We got this long desk here. That desk was on the other side of the garage. We used to put a lot of our equipment on it, all that stuff, and did some work on top of it. I moved it over here for now because we're moving some stuff. And this desk may or may not be here by the next live stream or next videos. It may be somewhere else. We might have something here. We might have something there. We might have something up here. We don't know yet. We're making it work. But I hope you guys are happy with the way it looks. This was a very last minute touch. You got little pumpkin guys here. Also, do we look okay? The lighting's all right. Making sure like we're not like blurry or anything. Hopefully like the pumpkin's not the one standing out. Did Hondo climb up on the desk? No, and that's the unfortunate thing because I had to move all this stuff around. Hondo's not here with us, unfortunately. Yeah. He's upstairs. He's chilling upstairs. And until I can figure this out, then Hondo will come back for the streams. And I know we're probably going to get a lot of crap for that. But anyways, happy Tuesday evening to all of you guys, wherever you guys are from. Also want to start off with saying happy birthdays. We have a couple of happy birthdays to talk about. We got the Happy Mask guy, and we got Fear Cosplays. I remember you guys saying it's your birthday, so happy birthday to you guys. Do we have anybody else celebrating birthdays in the chat? Is it anybody else's birthday? If it's anybody else's birthday, let us know. We'll wish you guys a big happy birthday. But anyways, got a couple of things to talk about. I feel like it's been a while.
I just feel like it's been a while.
I mean, it has been. You know, we were on a roll. We were creating content. And then guess what? Life happens to us. It's been fan-freaking-tastic, guys. Work, our personal jobs that me and Steph both have, has been pretty busy. And we've been dealing with that. On top of that, we've been having some car issues. Steph's car literally just got a flat. My engine light just came on. My car's having issues. I'm like crap, so we've been dealing with that. And then we've been having some personal issues too that we've been dealing with and all. So hopefully we're getting past all that. Hopefully the devil's got all his funny games completely out of the way. We're done. We passed that. We're good. We passed the test. Because we're ready to talk HHM with you guys. We have a lot of things that we're creating. A lot of things we're excited for. Steph, if you guys remember, she was in that little short that we did with the crew from the Pumpkin Man film. And that gets released tomorrow. So if you guys don't know and you don't follow the Pumpkin Man film on Instagram, check them out. They have these cool little shorts that they've been doing and stuff. And me, technically, I was featured in it briefly. You'll
be able to recognize him.
Yeah, you'll be able to see me. And then if you'll recognize stuff, you know, depending on what mood she's in, it looks like stuff. Cool. Like, you look creepy cool. So anyways, we're going to be in that one. So check them out. They are releasing, if I'm not mistaken, tomorrow. I think that episode will be released over on their YouTube channel, but you can even check it on Instagram. So super excited and a huge congrats to those guys. And then we're going to be getting going with our series. As you can see, here's the forbidden texts. There is something over there. You guys can see a lot of stuff's going to be involved, and we're working on it. We're super excited. And Horror Nights is around the corner. So tonight's live stream, briefly going to talk about Evil Dead Rise. Briefly. We're not going to go too much in depth. Because if you guys haven't seen it, obviously we don't want to do any spoilers. We're going to keep it spoiler free. Nothing's going to be ruined here. And we're also going to ask the chat if you guys can also respect that. Try not to do any spoilers for Evil Dead Rise for those of you who have seen it. We'll talk briefly about it, what we thought about it, and also what we could see coming to the event with Evil Dead Rise. We're also going to go ahead and talk about our series a little bit briefly, very briefly. We're also going to dive into a future house announcement that could be literally this week and around the corner. And I have a reason and a theory as to why. The theory is kind of stupid, but I think you guys will get a kick out of it. We're also going to go ahead and discuss... I blanked out. I forgot the last thing. Oh, yeah. There's an open audition currently going on right now for Halloween Horror Nights, and we're going to talk about that and what could that potentially be.
It's very interesting.
Yeah. Something that I think Steph's going to take over with that one because she'll know more about it than I do. So a couple things going on. We're excited and all that. But before we kick off, how are you guys doing? How's the chat doing? I want to see everybody who we got in today. I see our lovely channel members in. Drac Packs, Lil Boo Fan Clubs, Jack's Carnivals. We got Crappy Tappy, Jim Daniels, UMC Two-Face, Kamara, Valerie Burns, Jim Daniels. Am I missing anyone else? No. Drew, Phantom. A couple people going on here. Try to keep up with you guys today. So, hope you guys are doing good. Miss you guys. Love you guys.
Jim said he was hit by a drunk driver.
Oh, really? Are you all right?
He said he's very sore.
Oh, no.
Glad you're all right, though.
Yeah.
That is scary.
That's scary. I'm glad to hear that you're all right, though. Seriously.
Yeah.
That's not good. That's serious. I'm over here complaining about our cars not working. Man. Well, I'm glad to hear that you're okay, my man. And this dude's 4th drunk driving conviction. Jeez, man. Lately, I don't know what it is, but people driving, even today, we went out on the road. People around hectic. Here have been crazy. Mm-hmm.
I was telling Brian yesterday on my way to the gym, I saw somebody literally just like on a red light turn left. Just like was stopped and was just like, I'm just going to go. Just turn left on red. I was like, okay.
People are crazy. Also, we have Chris Dustings. I have to obviously give him a Disney chat. Hope you're having a magical day, bud. And Erica Williams. Erica, hope we get. I don't want to spoil anything, but we're super excited and big congrats to you guys. And happy belated birthday, by the way, or anniversary. Oh, now I'm confused. Now I put too much in my head. So, anyways, you guys ready? Excited?
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. Yeah, Florida drivers do be wilding. That is
Chris
true.
Chris said he'll bid $2 for this one.
Yeah, we'll start the bid at it. Starting $2, solid. So, ladies and gentlemen, Evil Dead Rise was released in theaters last week. And that is a movie that I've been, for a while, nervous to get into. Now, if you guys follow us on Instagram, you guys know that preparing me for such things, Stephanie has been not forcing me, but she's got me into watching the other Evil Dead movies. Last year, we watched the original Evil Dead, which I loved. I thought it was hilarious. And then the week of, right? I think it was the week of the release of Evil Dead Rise last week, we watched Evil Dead 2. We saw Evil Dead 3, which was Army of Darkness, and then the 2013 version of Evil Dead. And I'm literally glad to say that I am a fan of Evil Dead and the franchise. I think it's just kind of funny, like how like comical it is in a sense with its horror. And then seeing the Evil Dead Rise movie, I was honestly stunned with the production quality of this movie. And I would argue to say it's probably my favorite horror movie currently. I haven't seen a lot. Obviously, that doesn't say much compared to someone like Steph, but it's because of the production quality.
Yeah, I will say it's probably one of the better ones that I've seen in theaters. But I also haven't seen a lot of my favorite horror movies. I actually never got to see in theaters. So I mean, take that with a grain of salt. But
we did it in Dolby as well. So like we had the whole
awesome.
I mean, there were speakers in our ears and the chairs were shaking and stuff. I mean, that was a wild ride.
We almost went and saw it again Saturday.
The next day.
Friday.
It was going to be the next day. Yeah.
Yeah, we almost went and saw it again the next day.
We got the tickets too.
It was so good. But then we just decided to stay home.
Yeah, we've just been so busy that it's been hard to even get out of the house. But
Valerie wants to know which one we preferred better, 2013 or this one.
Me personally, I say Evil Dead Rise because we saw it in theaters. So we had the theater experience, right?
I never got to see 2013 in theaters. I was too young. my parents wouldn't take me to see it. But I will say that I have seen a lot of people saying like 2013 obviously was a bit darker. It is also a bit gorier. And when we first saw it, I didn't really necessarily agree with like that it was gorier, but then I saw somebody explain it in a way that was like 2013 was more violent. You see more of the violence like in your
on
face.
Screen, like it was happening on screen. Yeah.
And I will agree with that. I do think that 2013 definitely like they did not hold back at all, and I feel like this one had a good mixture of like the goriness from 2013 and the darkness, but then also some of the comedy. It wasn't as comedic as like the first two. Well, the first one's not really like comedic, but it wasn't as comedic as like Evil Dead 2, of course. Mm-hmm. But there was still some of that comedy in there, and I definitely like that.
Yeah.
I think 2013 it's hard to compare them because
they're very
like
different though.
Vibes.
That's the thing. Like, you know, they follow the formula for what Evil Dead, the original, basically brought into with the with horror and stuff. And this is a very different take. It's a different setting, different scene, different people, you know, purposes and stuff. However, there were things that followed the formula of Evil Dead that we have actually never physically seen done in that type of way. There, without ruining anything, we're not going to say anything, but there were just moments that you could say like the way that they've done this in each of the movies hasn't been done like this before, and we love that.
Yeah.
So there are moments in there that you would appreciate if you've seen the other Evil Deads, and we do say like if you're going to watch this movie, make sure you've seen the other Evil Deads because it'll make more sense.
Well, it'll make more sense, but it'll also like you'll have an appreciation for it because it still follows that same like storyline.
Yeah.
It still follows like the lore of the original ones, and there are some like Easter eggs in there, so it definitely makes it better if you've seen the originals.
That intro sequence, that title intro, best thing I've freaking seen in theaters, period. So
see, Bradley said Evil Dead Rise was great, but it doesn't beat out John Wick 4 for number one. I will say on my Letterboxd, I like to rank like all the movies that we've seen for the year, and I do have John Wick 4 above Evil Dead Rise.
No, I agree. John Wick 4 was
so good.
Just cinematically, just if you haven't seen it, just go see it. Don't waste your life. Go see that movie. It's just good. There's a lot of good shots.
But Evil Dead Rise is number 2 right now. So.
Also, want to get into some of these super chats we got here. Derek Morris with a $4.99, my man. Thank you so much. I'm getting right into it, LOL. So we've heard the Stranger Things rumors and how they've already started building it. Personally, I've actually haven't heard about anything being built Stranger Things wise. So that's actually news to me. And if that's the case, I mean, I'm all down for it. Like, you guys know how we feel about Stranger Things. We love Stranger Things. And I've been saying for some time, if they were to do something based off of last year's season 4 that came out publicly, this would be the year for it. Because it would keep that excitement still going. You know, it's not like too far away. And this would be a perfect time for it. Because if I'm not mistaken, this next year, I think I've said this every live stream. I believe next year's season 5 is released. And then they can skip a year and then post it at HHN. So they have multiple years to still do the Stranger Things franchise. So I've actually haven't heard anything about that, but it's a warm welcome if that's true. I mean, I'll take it. I'm not going to say no to Stranger Things. I just hope that they treat it well. Do it well this time. No still scenes. I want the full effect.
I agree.
Right?
I agree.
And then also our boy here, Colby Birchfield with the $9.99. Can you pull it up? No, because I can't see it on here. We have
that's all it is.
Just nothing.
Yeah.
My man just sent money, just nothing attached. Insane. Colby, huge thank you, my man. We appreciate it. I'm assuming my man's just going like this, just right.
So that's what that means.
Unless Kobe sent like a hidden message and you can only view it by something.
Oh, maybe.
Hey, Kobe, thank you so much for the $9.99, my man. We appreciate that. So that's Evil Dead Rise. Came out in theaters last week. Beautiful movie. We've enjoyed it.
I will. One last thing on Evil Dead Rise.
Mhm.
Bradley had said like that the biggest downfall was like the character building. There wasn't like a ton of that, and I felt like that when we first walked out of the movie. But the more that I like thought about it, you don't go to an Evil Dead movie to like care a ton about the characters.
No.
So I'm like, the more that I thought about it, I was like, yeah, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, it's something different. I mean, I enjoyed it because it's, I do like character building, of course, but for a movie that is just like really just to show you the effects of like some horror and gore and all that stuff, I think this purpose was really just to kind of get into it and get going. And it does seem like, it very much does seem like we're going to get another film to follow this. And if we do, I feel like we'll have more character building with people from the franchise. So I feel like wait for the next one to see that. If they do come out with that, which I could see that.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I see people talking about Nick Cage.
Yeah, people are saying I'm scarier than Nick Cage.
I agree. Yeah. I would say stuff's scarier than anything. But how did Nick Cage even get in our chat thing?
Yeah, I agree, Kamara. I think that there are certain things that they held back on because there's children in it, and I agree. Not a lot of people want to see it's not fun to watch children.
No, if you enjoy that, something's wrong with you.
Yeah,
that's all I'm gonna say.
I agree with that.
So, Evil Dead Rise came out theaters. Go see if you guys haven't. Beautiful movie. Just well done production quality and stuff. But what does that mean for HHN? I'll tell you one thing. And I know a lot of people in the community do this, and we were laughing about this earlier, where it's like you see a new horror movie and you're like, that could be at HHN. That'd be great at HHN. This movie definitely could be an HHN house. Not only could it be, but it was going to be until it got scrapped. Last year, this was a house that was going to be, and it hurts knowing that this could have been a house last year, because it's just a beautiful movie. Definitely could see this being a house for this year, and I'm really hoping that they do bring it for this year, but I don't want to get my hopes up too much. I know Steph would be excited to see this as a house.
Yeah. Yeah, I would. And I remember seeing the set, there's one specific set piece from what ended up being the hotel in Hollywood last year. That looks just like the elevator scene.
Well, even the bathroom one too.
The bathroom one? I thought there was a kitchen one too that looked just like
the whole thing was designed basically.
It looked just like the Evil Dead Rise set. So, we know that they've done the layout for it, so they could easily just do it again.
Yeah. Also, people are saying I look like the pumpkin. Right. So, yeah, so it could very much be a house at the event, and I'm hoping that it's going to be at the event, because it was a well done movie. So, but that's the Evil Dead Rise section. Also, I do want to put this out there. I forgot to say this before we really get boom boom boom. Anyways, we have a little goal that we have in mind. So this August, as you guys know, if you guys have been following us for some time, we do our countdown to HHN. And in the month of August, we like to really ramp up our talks, especially with the live streams and chatting with you guys about Halloween Horror Nights, fun little projects and ideas that we have in mind, as well as some things coming to the event, our hype list, what we're most anticipated for, what future years could be involved, the music, yada, 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 right? We do a lot of that stuff. And we have this goal of trying to get to 5,000 subscribers. And this is where we're going to need y'all's help, right? Because I'm not good when it comes to social media and outreach stuff, mean stuff. We don't like it being hit that like button and subscribe and all that. But you got to do it to grow in a sense. But our goal is to try to get to 5,000 subscribers by HHN this year. So that's 4 months or something. Which,
yeah.
It's going to be impossible. But the reason being is we want to try to grow as quick as we can by HHN, so we can have more of an audience to discuss with when it comes to our August series, because we have a lot of fun things that we do have planned. There are some things we're getting ready to work behind the scenes. We're going to have guests come on the show and stuff like that, and actually be able to discuss things with you guys and do some fun things, HHN related content. So our goal is going to try to get to 5,000. We're going to hope that, you guys put in the work and the words out there and stuff, and we're going to try to get growing and try to get to that goal that we have. So if not, it doesn't matter. Like, we can go to 5 people. I don't care, to be honest. We just want as many people as we can to talk HHN, because that's what we enjoy the most. So also, a huge shout out to all of our members. I see all of you guys out there constantly supporting us and making all the chats that we have, and everybody who's been watching us and supporting us. We've noticed, and we talked about this last night, how we have seen people commenting since 2021 when we started this out. So it's been very exciting to see how you guys have been following us along the way, and just see how we've kind of evolved and how things change, which has been really cool. So also, big shout out to these people right here. USMC Two-Face with the $5 saying, although the possibility is slim, I wouldn't mind seeing Renfield represented as the comedy house. However, the movie is performing well at theaters. 100% agree with you.
I wouldn't mind that either. I think, although it wasn't my favorite movie of the year, it was...
Nick Cage wasn't your favorite?
No, I liked it. I think that, again, I don't want to like spoil anything for anybody who hasn't seen it. I think that all of the scenes with like any gore or violence were great. I think that we had like that side story with Aquafina that like didn't really care too much about, and I think that kind of took away from it a little bit. But if they obviously wouldn't have that in like a house, so I think that the parts that would be represented in a house would make a really good house. The gore was like super over the top, and I think it would be I think it would make a better like campy house or comedy house than like Beetlejuice. No offense to Beetlejuice fans, but that wasn't my favorite house.
No, I mean, I agree. I honestly think Renfield could be a perfect house, because it's like, it would be a perfect comedy house. It was a better movie than I was expecting to be at the theaters. So definitely enjoyed it. Very much would love to see it. And I think it'd be a great addition. And of course, we love Dracula, and bringing this up, you got Nick Cage as Dracula. And if I'm not mistaken, I think somewhere in the chat I just saw this. Yeah, Nicolas Cage. Hello, everyone. So Nick Cage is in the chat, everybody. A big shout out to our executive producer, Nick Cage here. Guest host, the star of the show. But USMC Two-Face, thank you so much. Big shout out to you guys and Lily. Glad to hear that you guys are doing well. Miss you guys. So, also, Kobe's back, by the way. Another $9.99. I know this is messed up, but I hope that at the Krampus house, there are scenes where kids get whipped. I know it's messed up, but it's in the origins, and also Krampus steals and eats your kids if they're naughty.
I do think that would make sense.
Yeah, I could see it being obviously like in a house and stuff. I could see them like showcasing something like that. Maybe not like physically seeing such an element, but maybe obviously, implying such things happens. Because we've had situations where at HHN you have houses featuring kid-like scenes, in a say. I mean, even I know the most recent one I can think of was HHN 30. We had Case Files. There was a scene in there in Case Files, and in
Tooth Fairy.
In Tooth Fairy, yeah, Tooth Fairy in general, and Scary Ohio. I mean, they had sections like that. They were very well done.
Wasn't correct me if I'm wrong, because we didn't obviously go through it, but La Llorona, did that have kids in it, or is it more just
maybe? I'm not too sure actually. We didn't get to go through it.
I feel like it would, because it's kind of like a kid's like something to scare children, right?
Yeah, as long as it doesn't get too crazy, I'm fine with it, obviously. Yeah. So like the lures of like with that.
And USMC Two-Face said it's not performing well at the box office.
Oh, it's not.
Which is surprising. But I feel like horror comedies like normally don't do the best.
I also, because I think people like look at it and like, oh, that's stupid, I'm not going to go see it and stuff. And they will physically put in their mind that like, no matter what, I'm not going to go see that movie. And I have a feeling because it is by like Universal, I feel like they will see it published on Peacock. So I feel like a lot of people are waiting for streaming services and stuff like that. Me and Steph were big promoters of the theaters and stuff.
There's just a lot out right now too. So it's like,
thank God.
Yeah.
We've been in a drag for that.
So it's like, if you're paying to go see a movie, you might choose like John Wick 4 over Renfield. Or Dungeons and Dragons over Renfield.
Also, it wouldn't be a live stream without this legend here in the chat. Jim Daniels. Glad to hear you're doing good, by the way, from that accident. But with the 50 Jeez, Brian. You need to kick HHN in the butt and tell him it is time for announcements. By the way, Nick Cage, you need to go and do another bad character in a movie. Hey, Dracula's a good character. All right. Anyways.
I think he means his acting.
Yeah, of course, yeah. I think it's like so just Nick Cage that I think it's perfect. Like, you can never get such acting by any other character or actor in the world. I think Nick Cage is his own thing, which I'm starting to like. I don't know why. I might regret saying that. But yeah, hey, talking about announcements and stuff.
Do a rewatch of Mandy?
No. We're good. But talking about announcements and stuff, let's talk about some future announcements here. Jim Daniels kicking it off, getting us ready. By the way, thank you again for the 50. Future announcements. When and what? And yeah, I wish I could kick HHN in the butt, but we know that they're kicking us in the butt. So I want to say this. Not trying to be superstitious or anything, but you guys, I don't think you guys can really say it. I'm growing a zit right here on my face. And obviously that's probably the scariest thing you've heard all day, but last year, whenever we got a house announcement, I don't know why, but my face would start to just break out. And I think it was like my face was just like trying to get itself as horrifying as possible for when we had to do a video. I just obviously wasn't camera ready. And I started growing this morning. Like, this came out of nowhere. And I was like, of course, we have a live stream and stuff. But then it dawned on me, I'm like, we will be getting a house announcement soon. When is the question? And sure enough, this starts growing. And I'm like, all right, if this stays accurate to what last year was, I kid you not, I think the last 4 house announcements that we got, this started happening to my face. Here it is, happening again. Could that mean a house announcement is this week, potentially? And if that is the case, I will have to alert everybody in the community anytime my face breaks out that an announcement's coming up. So.
Yeah, this is the craziest theory I've ever heard.
So I just want to prepare you guys. But in all seriousness, though, I think, we could potentially see some this week. I don't think it would be this week. I think we're looking at sometime in May. We did get the Classic Monsters, which was last year's first announcement for Legends Collide. Obviously, by the way, artwork that you guys can see that we have on the desk, that's the newer one. We don't have a poster to put it up. Plus, we're going to change all this, so we haven't put it up yet. But that's obviously from Cryptoguts. If you guys don't follow Cryptoguts, check them out on Instagram. Amazing artwork. A lot of our posters.
Twitter.
Yeah, and Twitter. And a lot of our artwork is by Cryptoguts, which this is not a sponsored video by any means, but just the artwork's incredible. We love it, so we obviously purchased a lot of the stuff from them. So check them out, support them. We got it, the Legends Collide one from last year. But yeah, so when that was announced, that was back in May. I think it was like May 25th or 27th or something like that, late May, which is kind of late thinking about it. But that was the first announcement last year.
May 17th.
May 17th. Okay, there we go. So May 17th. Thank you. Who said that? Who said that? Javier, my man's always on it. We appreciate that.
Beth said than the one from the 6-year-old.
Hey, yeah, Lily. Shout out to Lily, man. We love Lilies. So we got that announcement back in May. I feel like we might see something similar trending towards that. We'll probably get something around May when talks kind of subside about a lot of things going on. Question is just what do we think we're getting?
Another Monsters.
You think it'll be Monsters? If we do get another Monsters house, that'll probably be the first thing to be announced. And then could even potentially see a major IP. Now, I want to put this out there, I could also very much expect HHN to do something where we get an announcement one week, and then the following week, if not 2 weeks later, we could get another announcement. But we are missing out on Hollywood. Hey, they're making fun of me. Oh, they're talking about you? Oh, I thought Steph is the GOAT. Make your best GOAT impression.
I'm not doing that.
All right. But yeah, so
Insidious. People are saying they feel like Insidious is coming soon.
If we already get Insidious, I mean, did you guys see that trailer, by the way? It looks pretty good.
It does look good. I didn't realize I don't stay like up to date with any of the like Insidious, Conjuring. Those are 2 different universes, right? Those movies. And
guessing.
So I didn't realize that this movie is actually like a big time jump. I mean, that would make sense because it's been a while, but it's a big time jump from like the original ones, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
I like the concept of it, where it's like the thing is still kind of like looming over the family all those years later. It's kind of cool.
Also, I know this is kind of off the side. I was just reading. Vanessa Ann said, I bought from him since you guys talked about him. Cryptoguts, that's awesome. Thank you so much for doing that. Appreciate it. He's like a small little shop and all, so any purchase off, obviously helps. What did you get, by the way? What exactly did you get? Let us know. I hope Cryptoguts is watching. Love your artwork. Anyways, yeah, back to Insidious. Do you guys remember when, I might know some things or two, whatever. Do you guys remember when I posted on my Instagram story about the red door from Haunting of Hill House? And I was like really hinting at something about that. And then sure enough, when Insidious came out with their trailer, their movie was titled The Red Door. So yeah, I just hope you guys are putting the puzzle together. That's all I'm going to say about that. But the movie looks good. It looks really good.
It does.
So, anyways, future announcement. I know we're going to get something for Hollywood. I think the next announcement, no matter what it is, something has to be done with Hollywood. I feel bad for the folks out in the West Coast, which surprisingly enough, we do get a lot of people from the West Coast. Any of you guys out there, big shout out to you guys. I feel like you guys don't get love like Orlando does earlier on in the year. I feel like the speculations and things like that are drawn out. However, though, you guys get very spoiled when it comes to in-park construction because you guys can physically see that happening right now. We can't see our construction at all, which kind of sucks because we've even discussed, which I wonder if you guys would be interested in this, if we were to legit fly out to Hollywood once a month, which would be super expensive.
Once a month?
This is why we're not going to do it. But we fly out to Hollywood just to get like construction videos for you guys of Hollywood.
For like one day. And
that's going to be so exciting to see it physically being built like right there. Because we don't get to see that, unfortunately. It's all rumors and specs until they actually announce it for us. So, but I do think Hollywood should be getting something very soon. I think with that announcement, we'll also get a house announcement. So for Orlando's sake, you're going to get the house announcement and stuff. I don't think we'll get anything else specific. It'll be a house based on both coasts. And then Hollywood, folks, you're going to get your actual event dates and more details and tickets to be purchased then. So I think this one's going to be more focused with Hollywood than Orlando, but they'll share a common house for the coast. So that's just me. That's what I'm feeling.
Javier had asked if we think that, like, when we think the next year that we don't have a Monsters house is going to be.
Ooh, for a while.
You think they're going to keep having at least one?
I think until 35. I say it's safe to say until 35. I think they're trying to expand this story with the classic monsters, and I think they have something. What I'm hoping for, at least, this is what I'm hoping for, that they have a bigger story to tell where all these characters come back together in one big house for an overall story. That's what I'm really hoping. And I really don't want it to be like a versus type of deal. I just want it something that's like a featurette where you see them featured throughout the entire house for one big story, just like they did in 2019. And it kind of like does it in full circle where you see in 2019 back in Orlando how we had all the monsters featured. And then after that, every year we get a monster featured in a house. And then it's one big story being told, comes back around full circle, and you have a featurette again of all the monsters. And then we can lay in the rest for a while.
That'd be cool.
Right. Except for Dracula. It'll be HHN35's icon. I love this song, by the way. So that's just like my opinion on that. But also talking about like with HHN currently going on, I do want to say this, and I'm about to pull this up for you guys on the screen. Let's share this. Hold on one second. It's live, remember.
When will we get a new spec map?
I have no idea.
I don't know.
If anybody knows HN Nightmares, or if they're watching, which I doubt it, but if anybody knows them, like shout them out with us and stuff, so we can know when that spec map's coming out. We'd love to know. Like, when is it?
I think the point is that it just drops.
Yeah. See, we like being surprised though. Like knowing that it's coming up is great, obviously content-wise, so we can actually prep and prepare to create a video for you guys.
Yeah.
But me and Steph personally prefer like waking up and going through the day and all of a sudden the phone's blowing up. We're like, holy crap, it's the map's here, or like an announcement's been made. We personally don't actually like having the surprise ruined for us. We like to keep things from the guest perspective. That's what we want to be, on the guest side of things, just because it's more fun. That's what the event's for us. We don't want to know everything now.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Also, yeah, it would be cool if the anchor on the spec map is the new Dracula movie.
Oh yeah. The voyage of the last voyage of
Demeter.
The Demeter, yeah.
Yeah.
Which that'd be neat. Also, there's an actual location. I mean, this is based off of like true-ish events, like actual like stories and stuff, where this ship went from the Isle to the UK, right, from Europe, and it was supposedly had Dracula on board or something like that. And this is kind of like where Dracula's first victim was based off of. We talked about this back in HHN 30, where me and Steph decided like 1 year, if we, get to that point, 1 year we'll actually travel all the way out there to see that town where Dracula had supposedly his first victim and things like that, which was, I think, based in the UK area. So
that'd be cool.
That'd be really neat.
Or to see the castle.
Well, that's in like Transylvania. Like,
that'd be cool.
Yeah. What if we did like we set up our studio there at the castle? Have bats flying overhead. Also, I had a dream the other night of a bat. Like, I had a friend, and it was a bat.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, fun fact.
Nice.
He actually bit me in the finger, and then my finger, the skin started just peeling away, and it was I couldn't tell if I was dying or not.
Like Black Swan?
I've never seen that. Yeah, sure. I'll say yeah to that. Anyways, moving forward. I had a bat friend. Yeah, fun fact. Look at this, guys. For those of you who don't know, Universal Halloween Horror Nights in Orlando has just released submissions for dancers and vocalists for a Halloween Horror Nights stage show. These are auditions here for you guys. So they are seeking dancers and vocalists. Now, this section I will let Stephanie take over because I don't really know much about this type of stuff. So, Stephanie?
Well, I think it's interesting that, first of all, it's for a stage show, right? So the past few years, the only stage show that we've had is Nightmare Fuel. Now, they could technically do a stage show in New York or one of the other like in the scare zones. Mm-hmm. Or scare zones where they put up a little stage and maybe do something like that. But we know that with Nightmare Fuel, the last 2 years, we have not had any sort of vocalists. So it is interesting that they are asking for vocalists. And the casting call is asking for vocalists to portray a female character and somebody who has a voice that can be rock and roll style. So they're looking for some sort of rock vibe, I guess, with this show. So it is interesting because we know that we're getting either a different show, an updated show, or another show in addition to Nightmare Fuel. We were talking about it earlier and we were saying what if they just, what if Nightmare Fuel is a little different this year and it's still technically Nightmare Fuel because we think that they'll still keep Nightmare Fuel. We still think that it'll be similar because it's been so popular, but maybe with a singer, which I don't know if I would like that. What do you think?
For Nightmare Fuel?
Yeah. Having a vocalist?
So here's the thing, if this is for Nightmare Fuel, I'm all for it, for the fact that it seems like we're going to get a different storyline with this show. Because I really don't want them to come back this year and it be the same things that we've had for the past 2 years. No matter what people say, last year's show was good, but a lot of it featured the same things from the year before that. And it would have been nice to kind of see a different storyline and stuff, new elements and all that stuff. It was still well done. I think it would have been cool to see something different. So what I'm hoping for, if this is for that case, it shows that they obviously have something in mind for something different than we've seen before. And it'd be really cool if we get something that's really hard to the core kind of style. And it's like, this vocalist, obviously they want somebody that's like, rock and all that stuff. And it's more like, and like, they got fire and elements like that. I'm all for something like that. So it's a warm welcome, but I don't want to get my hopes up for it. I did audition for the lead female vocalist.
I'd like to see that.
That'd be terrible. Imagine me singing on stage.
But then they are also asking for dancers, and this doesn't say for a stage show. So this technically could be like in one of the streets. But they're looking for dancers who are 5'2" and under. And
it also says tumbling skills may be required for some roles.
So we have seen a lot of people saying, "Oh, Megan," because she like dances, she's short, and she also does like an aerial, so like a little bit of tumbling.
Big no, please.
I don't.
Unless Lily's dream's coming true.
Lily's gonna be the
oh my
the
gosh
dancer.
She's gonna try to get me to do that dance scene. So.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. Yeah, people are saying it should be they think it should be a new show this year, rather than Nightmare Fuel.
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting to see this. If it relates to the Nightmare Fuel, then I see it as a positive thing. If it's related to Nightmare Fuel, it shows that we're going to get some new elements, and I'm always down for that. But if it's for Scare Zone, cool. It shows that, because one thing that was cool, last year we had Sweet's Revenge, and that Scare Zone was really good. I enjoyed that. They had these little elements, but I miss having that big wow factor for that Scare Zone in New York. That was like a show. And Seek and Destroy slightly had that very little bit. There was good interactive elements, but then if you go to years past, they've always had that big like stage there to be done, and that's for the Scare Zone in New York. So if this has to relate to a Scare Zone, all for it. That'd be really neat. But I don't know.
I guess we'll find out.
Yeah.
Also, this super chat is not popping up.
Oh, here.
On yours.
UF's. Let me pull this up. Our boys here. USMC Two-Face with the $10. Sorry if we missed this. If they do a Monsters House, do you think they'll take a classic approach, or will they do their updated versions? Winnell's take on the Invisible Man in 2020 was great, and I'd love to see it at HHN.
I think they'll do the updated version still.
Yeah, I think they want to keep it to their own modern take and stuff. I don't think they want to go back to classics.
We actually never saw the Invisible Man movie. We need to see that.
We'll have to take a look at it. But I do feel like if they continue the classic monsters, we're going to be seeing this updated story, this updated version of them. Because like I said, I do feel like something bigger is in the mix with the classic monsters that we're going to see.
I just have I don't know. I have a weird thing with that lead actress. I forget her name, but she just rubs me the wrong way. I don't know why.
She rubs me the wrong way. USMC though, thank you so much for the 10. I apologize that we missed the chat, by the way, but I think we're gonna stick to the modern versions. So, but back to the show and the dancing and all that stuff. If it's for the Scare Zone, that's cool. That means that they're planning something bigger to be featured in the Scare Zone. So all for it. However, though, could this even be for another show at the event that we don't know of? No idea. I don't know where they would put it.
I don't know. There's no other stages in studios.
Yeah, the only one would be like in the Blue Man Group, like the old Blue Man Group building. But usually during HHN, they actually start building the set for Grinchmas show. So there's really no time for that. So that'd be interesting. So I don't think we're gonna get a second like stage show. This is either for Nightmare Fuel or this is for like the New York like Scare Zone, and they're going to feature something bigger, which I hope. I'm always down for them to make these Scare Zones as big as they possibly can. Like last year's Scare Zones were incredible. I love that the Scarecrow Cursed Soil Scare Zone had that barn and stuff. I feel like if they could bring sets like that to the Scare Zones and make it bigger and better than ever, that really sets the mood for the event when you're just walking around. And then when you have solid houses and IPs, which I think this year we're going to have a solid lineup. I really do believe in that. Then you have an all-around great year. Now, that actually leads us into the next topic. I realize we're already at 52 minutes here. But that leads me to the next topic, which is the logistics of the event, which this is the scariest thing about HHN this year for me. You have a potentially great year. It looks like we're going to have some good scare zones, and it looks like we're going to have some solid houses. You know, those are the core formulas for HHN, houses and scare zones, right? Now, I'm afraid of the logistics in a sense. I hope that we get those full banners. I saw Javier, I think it was Javier who mentioned it earlier too. I agree. That entire archway at the front entrance needs to be full with banners. Yeah. Even if it's original houses, they need to have artwork for it. I did not like how it looked like it was reduced. It felt like the event was reduced. So that I was not a big fan of. Fill them up. You just needed 2 more banners, I believe. Make original artwork, get it up there.
It felt kind of like dark there too when like we would come late at night. Like it just felt like what?
I mean, I like that. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, but I don't know, I feel like in 2018, 2019, there was a little bit more like lighting.
It was more vivid, more bright, and things like that. Depending on how they use it. I like that it was dark and stuff. I get that, but with the theming of 2019, for sure, being the synth and all that kind of stuff, it was perfect to have all that lighting. So if they have more lighting, as long as it fits the theming, I'm all for it. So.
Yeah.
But then going back to the entrance, right? You have the banners. It needs to be filled up with the banners. I feel like they can even do more to the front versus just the banners and the medallion. The music needs to be spot on. Last year's music, I wasn't a fan of. There wasn't really one song that I took from last year's entrance. Like, here, I mean, actually, let me put this out there for you guys. You guys know, obviously, if you guys have watched this, I've been a huge fan of HHN 29's music. I listen to it every freaking day. I kid you not. There's not been a single day where I've not listened to that album. So, that song, or that soundtrack, if you will, that music area loop and stuff, was just iconic to me. That fit HHN's vibe. It fit the year. And it was the atmosphere that it built. HHN 30 did the same thing in a sense. There was that one specific song inside the machine that was like, man, like that's HHN to me, right? It built the atmosphere. I have not, since HHN 31, I have not listened to a single song from HHN 31. I don't look it up. I don't care for it. It did not feel like the vibe for me because the theming of last year's event did not fit the music, in my opinion. So it just threw it off for me. This year, I hope the music's on it. I hope they don't really focus on lyrical type of songs, but instead get more of the atmospheric sounds and stuff to really set you in the mood for HHN. So that's the entrance overall, right? Then you actually get into the park. Now, you have the scare zones and you have the houses, but there's a lot of construction going on right now with Universal. Now, which is not a bad thing. It's a good thing. You know, Universal's changing and they're trying to do some stuff, which is cool. But
Minions.
Of course, yeah, not the Minions part. But the logistics and the layout of the actual event is going to change significantly this year because of the construction. And the question is, how much is that going to change? Because when there's too much construction going around, it takes you out of that element of HHN. I don't want to see construction walls up. I want it to be the fully immersion of Universal being built, ready to go, and it's all themed out. So that's one thing. The Tribute Store location. I am not a fan of the Hollywood Tribute Store location right now. I miss the New York one right now. Now, it does make sense to have it in Hollywood. I just hope they expand and they put more money into it because the Mardi Gras Tribute Store they had this year, I'm sorry, but I hated that. I know hate's a strong word. I hated that. I could not stand it. It just felt cheap to me. Yep, felt too small. It didn't feel like it had the typical elements that they usually bring in a tribute store. So I'm hoping that this year's tribute store is not ruined by such. I hope they can at least go all out. No matter the size of it, they need to go all out with the tribute stores because that's kind of become like it's a cult classic thing now at HHN. You have to have a tribute store, right?
And can you imagine even like, I feel like last year's tribute store, because it had that kind of like one way only path, there were times where it was like backed up and it was busy and there were like, it was just packed in there. And then you move it to a smaller location, it's just going to be like, it's just going to be packed all the time. And we don't like that.
Yeah, I'm worried about it. And it just, just overall, the logistics and the layout of things I'm a little worried about. So that's really truly like when it comes to like houses or scare zones, I'm not really worried about it this year. I think this year is going to be really solid. I think the food's going to be great. I'm just worried about the music, and I'm worried about the construction currently going on in the park and the layout. I hope things are well balanced, and I really hope the back section of the park gets like an actual chainsaw horde that's there, or a scare zone, because I feel like that needs something. I don't want it to be as empty as last year. It just felt like that whole back section was just missing something. So that's pretty much the logistics on it and stuff. I felt like I've been rambling for an hour about that, as usual.
I don't know.
Not too bad. You tune me out.
Sure.
You're pretty good at that. I appreciate you. So I mean, that's just how I feel with it. But also, speaking with the logistics, we also did a little Q&A kind of session on our Instagram. Like I said, if you guys don't follow us on Instagram, check us out. Brian from Orlando, same thing on Instagram. We put a little questionnaire thing out there, or was it a questionnaire? How would this say? I just put it out there saying, hey, ask us questions.
Yeah, it's just a questions box.
Yeah, questions box from Instagram on our story. And we actually got a question from somebody stating, if you could improve one thing at HHN, what would it be? And, I don't want to say anything like, oh, better houses, better scare zones or something. I look at it from the perspective of what does HHN have every single year that you constantly deal with every single year? That's a logistics standpoint. And the answer that me and Steph talked about was the queue lines. HHN queue lines need desperate help. Nobody loves walking into a queue line for HHN, which if you guys, obviously you've been there, you know what it's like. It's all these turns and everything full of people packed in on a humid night at HHN, and there's just nothing. It's just voices of everybody talking, right? It's not fun. It's not. What they need to do is they need to create interactive elements for the audience. I call them the audience in a sense. The people who are in the queue lines to be invested in, to pass the time of them waiting an hour or two for these houses. So things like, one, we need those projectors for certain locations that can obviously feature a projector. We need those projectors featured on the walls to show, the ads for this year's Halloween Horror Nights, the little house announcements that they do, maybe even some old videos from past HHNs, some creative team people, when they get interviewed and all that stuff, like things like that. On top of that, I would very much love if they also did interactive real-time polls.
Yeah, if you guys have ever, we're going to get called out by Chris, but if you guys have ever been in the standby line for Soarin' at Epcot, do they still do it or no?
I think so. I don't
still
know.
Do it.
We haven't been there in so long.
They have little polls, and you can vote on your phone, and it shows which team is winning in terms of the trivia. And we think that would be so cool for HHN because you're just standing in those lines, and I feel like everybody would get involved in it, and people would be shouting out the answers and getting all excited, and it would just make it go by so much faster.
Yeah.
Especially because in Orlando, at least, you're not walking in a straight line. When you're going in line, it's not a straight line forward where the scenery is different. You're just going back and forth and back and forth.
You're one big box location.
You're passing the same 50 people
snake turning,
constantly. Yeah. It's the same scenery. It's,
for instance, for you that were there last year and you did the weekend, even the Hunting of Hill House, they have that area, that section when you're getting up to the house, that's very well done. You hear the music, they have lighting effects and stuff, that's really neat. But for other houses and stuff, especially by the sound stages, if they can do projectors that have live real-time polls, which is hey, who's the better icon? You got Jack, Chance, the director, or whatever. You got these icons, and people can go onto the Universal Orlando app, the mobile app, and actually vote in real time. Just like they do those little games, which they did last year. They did that little game on the app that you can play and stuff in the park. But you can go in there and vote real time when you're there. Who's the better icon? And you can actually see the polls real time moving. Here's Jack at 38%. Here's, Caretaker coming up to 27%. And you could get the audience, obviously, cheering when it gets close. Oh, come on. And, people are trying to vote. You get things like that happen. And I feel when you're there for an hour and a half waiting in line and it's humid, and you're tight with all these people, things like that could obviously make the time pass, especially if they make each poll 2 minutes. There goes 2 minutes, and next thing you know, you went a couple feet and stuff without even realizing it mentality-wise.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's something that I would implement, that HHN should really look into, that I don't know
I feel
why.
like it'd be pretty easy for them to do it too.
It'd be easy.
Especially because the little like videos and ads that they play are cool, but like they'll be on a loop of like maybe 2 minutes, like it's a 2-minute loop, and you're in that line for sometimes like 2 hours. So you're seeing that loop so many times to where you're like, oh my God. Like I'd rather there be nothing on.
Like just imagine some of the questions they could ask. I mean, it's very easy. It's like we can even do that with you guys right now. Like, who's the better icon, right? Jack, Chance, caretaker, director, whatever. Boom. That's one thing. That lasts for like 4 or 5 minutes and stuff. Then they do a little like video thing behind the scenes of HHN. That lasts like 5 minutes, which is really in depth. They do a little house announcement, which is a minute long. Then they do the next live poll, which could be like, what's the better food, snack at HHN, featured at this year's HHN, whatever. Yeah. You got No Chance in Hell, PB&J, and then you get the brisket. Those go head to head, and people talk about that. What's the better drink at the event and stuff, like, or who would win in a fight, Ghostface or Michael Myers, or like they could do things like that just to kind of just play with the audience. And you could have this on a loop that instead of it being a few minutes, this could last an hour to 2 hours. That would very much keep the audience in the queue line engaged and entertained, which keeps that excitement and the atmosphere of HHN lingering until they even get into the house. So yeah, that's what I'd say.
Yeah, and Sally, I don't know if I'm saying that right, said that even when I'm in the queue in front of Rip Ride Rocket, I love watching the director's cut video. The line will move so far before I notice. Mm-hmm. And we've talked about how we think, do you want me to say it?
Yeah, I'm getting excited. I think that
we think that
we just got to be careful with our ideas.
Yeah.
You know how people are.
We think that they should have live music on that stage.
Boom.
That was terrible. It was like...
We're an 8-bit.
We think they should have like a band and like some live music.
And maybe that's what these auditions are for. Like maybe this is what it is. Dancers and vocalists for a Horror Night stage show. I mean, that's what could it be? I mean, I doubt it. But in reality, like, this, I've said this for years. Me and Steph had talked about this for years. They have that empty stage that they can definitely use for something. And that is supposed to be for like the main featured house. If they were to use, especially for this year, a Five Nights at Freddy's haunted house at this year's HHN, and they feature it in that main soundstage, the one with the hub grass little area. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
I need you focusing with me in this one, baby
Sorry,
girl.
People are making fun of our fist bump.
You know what? Y'all relax. That fist bump was quality. We're gonna sell it. It's gonna be an NFT or whatever those things are gonna be called. So anyways, if they had Five Nights at Freddy's, right, you can have it in that soundstage, so the people who are legit waiting in that queue line could have Freddy Fazbear's whatever and those characters playing, the music and all that stuff. And it doesn't have to be anything crazy. It could just be like simple, like creepy audio, animatronics, like, performing or whatever, and things kind of run whatever, and you can see it go south, and you're like, that is like the facade for the house. Not really the facade, but that is like the interactive elements. You could do simple things like, I say it's simple. I know having audio animatronics ain't cheap.
It's so simple. Just create 5 animatronics.
Just spend a lot of money. But see, if we were running an event, that's what I would do. Spare the expense, right? Put as much money as you can, give it to the guests, because what you want at the end of the day is for the guests to love it. You want the guests to love it. No matter what the cost is. I don't care if we make money or we lose money. I want the guests leaving saying that is the greatest freaking thing I've ever done in my life.
I will say, Mr. Disney King said distractions do make the line go slower, which is true, but it's fine because at least you're like entertained in your slow line.
Yeah, that's true. And then also that means you could have some gaps going into the house.
Ooh, yeah, that's true.
You want some gaps. No.
Which anyways, I don't know that I would.
We're not promoting that. I'm just playing around.
4 animatronics. Sorry.
How many did you say?
5.
How dare you?
They have a backup just in case.
Right. But I feel like that could be really neat, and they could use that stage. Obviously,
and they throw out pizza. USMC said, "Do we get pizza?" I said, "Yeah." Sure. They toss out pizza into the crowd.
Yeah, wonder where that pizza's been. Your thing. But yeah, I mean, just like, I'm using obviously Five Nights at Freddy's as an example. You can have the animatronics on there, and that's just another element. You know what I'm saying? So they could do other things with that. Obviously, I know we talked about other like live, like actual rock bands like performing. Maybe even some like local small bands come to HHN and they perform at that stage. Throughout the night, a couple hours. Do like an hour on set. They take like a 20-minute, 30-minute break. They come back, do another sting, and you can get music, like your classic rock and your heavy metal, and you can have things like that just to set the tone. So that's what I would say.
Pizza fry cannon gun. I agree with that.
Yeah, pizza fries.
Can we also talk about how I just like... So when we were doing that like questions box, Brian was at work, so I took over. And I don't know what...
I took over.
I don't know what made me think of it, but out of nowhere I was just like, buffalo chicken, pizza fries. And now they need to do that. I also today was thinking that they should, when they had the s'mores fries, and then last year they had the like those funnel fries with the crab dip on it, which I was not a fan of. They should have the s'mores fries, but instead of the sweet potato fries, it should be the funnel fries, but with the chocolate and the marshmallow. That would be good. I'm really hungry. This year's
going to be dangerous for Steph at HHN. She'll be done doing her competitions and stuff, and we're increasing macros by that time. So
I'm really hungry.
That food video is going to be fun for you guys. Get ready for that. We're going to have a lot of food to try out.
I hope my stomach's going to be able to handle it.
I've been really nervous for it, to be honest. All Steph's been doing is watching food videos and talk about food. Like if I get food, Steph's like, "Let me smell it." So in public, I got to be like this, and she's, it's a little scary. But yeah, we were looking forward to HHN so we can eat.
Yes.
Get some food besides just oxygen. I feel like that's all you're eating.
Share Jim's.
Get on that. Jim Daniels back again with another 50, saying live bands and scare actors in the lines, anything to change the boredom of the lines. 100% agree.
Yeah.
And we talked about live polls and stuff like that, but another thing we put as an answer to that question we got on our Instagram story is having scare actors randomly visit the queue lines, and they can have like those roaming chainsaw hordes, just have them go through the queue lines, They did that back in HHN 30. They had Jack where he would randomly pop through some queue lines and stuff. And that was always neat. That was always neat to see because the audience and stuff, they would love that. The guests and all, they'd be like, oh, get their phones. That's something to see. Oh, look, I got to see Jack. I went to the house and people are like, what? Yeah, I got to see him in the queue line. That was so cool. You got to have elements like that to just enhance the experience. And I feel like when they have nothing in the queue line, it's just like you're sitting there. For some people, like, damn, like, do I really want to wait an hour and a half? And then, all right, we're waiting. Got to see a house. It was cool and all, but now we have to go wait another hour for this next house. It could really bum out the experience. So they need to add those elements to kind of spice it up and make it the true original HHN form, in my opinion. So, Jim Daniels, thank you so much. Also, Jim, by the way, is there a way to contact you? Like privately, you, me, stuff. We have something we want to talk to you about. Like, I don't know how to contact you. Let me know. Yeah. Anyways, moving on.
Anyway,
Jim Daniels, thanks again.
Are we upset that we haven't had a house announcement yet? Upset, angry, frustrated, meh. I don't know.
No, I'm not upset.
Just patiently waiting.
Yeah. It's
the only thing that I will be a little frustrated with if they do it like they did the last. Did they do it last year? The last 2 years where they just like wait until like it's almost August and then they're just like, here's everything else. I don't like when they do that.
We're in April, so I'm not like impatient with them now, like trying to make a house announcement. It's not like we're in June and we haven't heard anything. And the only reason why Steph and I will actually get impatient with them making house announcements is for that fact alone. Is we do not like when they make a big announcement of like, here's all the originals, here's all the scare zones, here's all this is what's coming. HHN, like they know how their audience is. We're a very special, unique community when it comes to just anything in general. We love speculation season. We love speculating what could come to the event, what could be here, what blah, 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 right? That's a big deal. You don't really do that with anything else in the theme parks. You don't do that with Mardi Gras. We don't do that with Christmas. You don't do that with Disney stuff or anything. Universal has HHN, and their community is really the only people that we know that do that. Where we speculate what's coming to the event. We even have like, HN Nightmares, right? Jesus. They make these maps and stuff. It gets people hyped. You know, we have these special things in this community for such purpose. And HHN knows that. Universal knows that. And I feel like they need to play along to that because it can only benefit them. And I feel like when they wait so long to make not just an announcement, but to make this large announcement where it's like everything, it's a little too much. Granted, is it cool? Yeah, obviously. You wake up that day and you're like, holy smokes, look at everything that's coming to the event. It's a lot to break down. And I don't say this as a, you know, from the perspective of like a content creator, but in general as just a fan. I like to see like by March, we got an announcement. April, hey, we got a second announcement. Oh, May, we got a third announcement. Oh, May, we got another announcement stuff. June, here's 2 announcements, 3 announcements. July, 4, 5. And, you know, next thing you know, in August, you're waiting for that last thing. And that's like their big surprise or whatever. Maybe something icon related or something like that. And you're like, sweet,
like
look at,
thingy,
yeah. And it's like, look at everything that we got. This is freaking awesome, sweet. Versus, you know, we got 3 house announcements and now it's 8, you know, we're in August. And then, oh, here's the big announcement. This is everything you guys waited for. We want to spread that season out, right? Spread it out. And they could do those merch drops. You know, like they did last year and the year before with like the house that was announced, they had a merch drop. That makes the money. You know, I mean, we even ourselves ran to the park to get that merch and stuff. And, you know, obviously it's, you know, free marketing for them, you know, promos that we're throwing it all out there. So I'm not going to try to rant too much about it. That's just,
yeah, I feel like it gets people more excited when it's like one at a time. It's exciting when you have like all of them drop all at once, but then it's like a big excitement and then it drops. Whereas like if you release like one announcement like every few weeks or once a month, then it like we get like a little excitement and then we get another one and then we get another one.
Yeah.
Rather than us like waiting for forever and then just having like everything dropped.
I want to bring this up. USMC made a good point, said maybe tying up rights is more difficult than we think, and it is. However, they basically know what their originals are going to be. Like they know like at least 2 solid originals will be at the event, like the Monsters House, right? Which technically is an IP, I guess. You know, some people say it is. I still count it as an original. But the classic Monsters House, they know they're usually doing that, and if they are doing it, that's usually one of the first announcements. So there's one, April, May, whatever, right? And then they could do another original. Then you could do like a scare zone in a show. Then you do a main IP that you know is happening. Next, you know, that's 4 announcements that we can have in April, May. Now we're getting into June. Hey, here's another IP we know is happening, right? Then we could do an original house. They definitely could spread it out because HHN does have a lot of their like originality to the event that they could post on their own terms. But that is a good point. They do have an issue.
And Elizabeth said when they do like multiple houses announced at once, they don't really like do like the teaser videos. They just do like maybe like one little video, or they just like post
they show
it
all the houses like boom, house, scares up, blah 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 blah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's still cool, but I would prefer it the other way.
Yeah.
I like the I prefer like the long game. You know, looking at it from the long term versus the short term perspective. So, but also, yeah, Jim Daniels, thank you so much for sending us. And yes, we do have a Patreon, but we don't encourage anyone to go on Patreon. We encourage you guys to go onto YouTube and our memberships there if you guys are doing that. Just because we've had issues with Patreon. I don't know why we've had these issues. So we stopped using Patreon.
It also with Patreon, if we want to do any special videos for our members or do like an early release of a video, we have to upload it to YouTube anyway. So it just is a lot easier on the back end to just do the memberships.
Also, speaking about our members, also if you guys are just joining us now, what's up? Welcome late to the stream. Great to see you guys. We discussed a lot of things like Evil Dead Rise. We talked about logistics of the event. We talked about the open auditions that's currently going on for HHN. We talked about future house announcements. We talked about a lot of things. I mean, we're already at an hour and 16 minutes. There's been a lot to discuss, and because things are ramping up, we're getting there. But speaking about memberships and stuff, I want to bring this up. First of all, thank you to anybody who's supported our channel by just watching, being here in the chat, messaging us, clicking the like button, clicking the dislike button, whatever you guys feel. Just any engagement that you guys have given us
Sorry, we had this idea one time. We were recording a video, and Brian accidentally said, like, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. But he went like this, I think.
I said thumbs down.
And we were like, I wonder what would happen if we told everybody to like hit thumbs down. Like if the algorithm would be like, ooh, this is a controversial video. We're going to push it out to everybody.
Right. It's like what
maybe we should tell everybody.
It's like what we're known for is instead of saying like click the like button and like get all these likes, it's like everybody click the dislike button. Let's make this like as many dislikes as possible.
It's risky though.
Yeah,
don't do that.
I don't know. I mean, if you guys want to, you do whatever you want. Free country. Have fun with it. But yeah, hey, I want to bring this up. Like, a huge thank you to everybody who's ever supported us and stuff. And especially a huge thank you to our members that we have on YouTube. Everybody that you can see obviously in the chat. You guys have been a great help for us. And I want to bring this up for you guys. We talked about hitting our 5,000 subscribers. That's our goal by HHN. We put that out there to you guys. If you guys can help us reach that goal, because we have some big live streams planned for this August for our Countdown to HHN series. And we want to have as many people as we can there to discuss all these things. And we especially have that big one, the big header, HHN 28 versus HHN 29. That's going to be a very fun live stream. I'm excited for that one. But yeah, so we want to try to build a channel to that point where we get all these people involved because we have some fun things planned. But our members, if you guys are a channel member, or if you guys are thinking about becoming a member of the channel that takes you through the fog, we have something involved where you guys will be a part of our Instagram series that we're doing, our Countdown to HHN Instagram series. Keep looking at this book, and I'm patting it. It has something to do with this beauty right here. The Book of the Dead, right? This beauty that we have. We will be putting in our memberships, we'll be putting like a, what is it called? Like a community post, right? That only our members will have access to. We are going to give you guys, out of the 200 pages that I have here, right? All this stuff that I got to go through. You guys will each get your very own page that you get to write anything you guys want in, and I'm going to feature it in our series. I'll write it down and stuff, design it and all that stuff. So each of our members, I'll put it in our community post. So don't write it now, but you're going to get it in a future community post, just exclusive for our members. So whether you're a member now or you think about future wanting to become a member, whoever's in that list at the time, as I go through it and put it up, we're going to be featuring you guys in our series. And one of these pages and this book will go down in HHN history. This book will feature every beautiful, scary thing we can think of. It's exciting. Like, look at this. All these pages. I have to hand draw and write and create in a language that's not English, by the way. So very excited for you guys to check out.
Ask Lily to start thinking of what she wants in the book.
Well, I'll ask Lily to start thinking ideas. Yeah, Lily's going to get her own page. So... But yeah, so you guys are going to be able to, our members and stuff exclusively, you guys are going to have like a page featured in that. So if you guys want to go ahead and have your own page featured in our series and stuff like that, where that whole book will be all these random things and stuff, or maybe not random, maybe something scary or spooky or something that...
Oh no!
Spooky. We'll have in that book. But huge thank you to everybody who supported us. You guys mean the world to us and giving us the ability to sit here and sweat in the garage because it's like 100 degrees and have these random pumpkins and scary stuff go on. It's been a lot of fun. We've enjoyed the process. So also, huge thank you to all of you guys.
Matt D Drums asked if we're gonna do live streams at the event, like walking around. We tried that last year.
Did you click that, by the way?
What?
Did you put that up there?
No, I didn't.
That's weird.
That is really weird.
You started asking and it just like, whoa, Matt
can hear us.
Awesome. Go ahead.
We did do one last year, and I think we have to figure out our setup if we're gonna do it again. Mm-hmm. We do like the idea of doing it, but logistically it's hard. Like the setup, the like audio was not good. We couldn't really like hear. You guys couldn't hear me, and then like it was also loud. We also had people stopping us. And yeah. Brian likes to talk, so then like it would just be in the live of just Brian talking to somebody else.
Whoever stops us, I just want to talk to them.
We'll see. We might try it again this year, but yeah. No promises.
We may give it another shot. It's just really the biggest issue is the connection. Like the internet connection at the parks, it's not the greatest. And I don't really care to do that so much. I prefer honestly being in a studio, going live, and like having this whole agenda to talk about and stuff like that. But
I like the in-park lives. I think people enjoy watching them because it feels like they're at the park. But we will be doing a lot more like in-park vlogs this year. We plan to. So rather than like a live, we'll be doing more where we're just like, we're going to HHN tonight.
Like a random
Come with
day.
us.
Yeah. Also, Sally said, Hundo, click the comment.
Yeah.
Right? Little man. Probably.
He's helping us out.
Right. So, but yeah, so anyways, we're at an hour and 22 minutes in the live stream. We're not going to call it a live stream and just yet. We'll wait till we get to like an hour and a half. So we'll give it like 8 minutes where we'll just kind of chat with you guys and stuff like that. If you're just joining us, welcome to the last few minutes that we have here in tonight's live stream. But yeah, sorry that we've been away for some time. You know, we were ramping up. We had some videos going, and we were getting into some good stuff. And unfortunately, you know, we just been having some personal stuff that we've been having to deal with when it comes to the cars, when it comes to our own series and things we're working on, our own personal stuff and our jobs and stuff. It's been a little chaotic this past month.
Crappy Tappy has a good idea that we could do like a TikTok live. People really like the TikTok lives, and people really like TikTok lives when you're just like walking around. Okay. And we have been using our TikTok a little bit more for our not so like curated content, where we're just doing like little trends that are kind of funny and
just
stuff.
Like fun stuff. HHN, yeah.
That could be a good idea.
Yeah, and then maybe even like Instagram. We might do like an Instagram live too, or whatever, and show you guys some of that. Also, Let's Talk HHN said with the $4.99, so pumped for this year. Yeah, super excited. I know, like, you know, we're always excited for the years when it's coming up. And we always look forward to, we get pumped and all that. But I have a really good feeling about this year's like houses lineup. I think this year's houses lineup is going to be really good. And I feel like because of last year's scare zones were so solid, I think those will also trickle over to this year, where we're just going to have a really just nice, solid year. Like I said earlier in the stream, if you guys were with us earlier, I did talk about being a little worried about the logistics of it. But I think overall, super excited for what this year has entailed. So, and of course, once the announcements start rolling by August during our countdown series, we'll go ahead and do an entire like what's our most anticipated list and stuff like that. So
Chris said my TikTok about the pizza fries is still the best TikTok. Thank you.
The pizza fries.
Remember the one?
Oh,
that
the
was
punch. Like... Yeah. See, all the videos on TikTok that's like kicked off was all done by Steph. Like Steph knows how to do that.
I like the little trends.
Yeah. So. I still kind of think the like the Dwight and Oscar one. Where Dwight? I think you already know.
We just did one funny. That's from Workaholics. That trend that's going around from Workaholics about going through the chainsaw horde.
Yeah. Also, Hufflepuff said, "What's your tattoo?"
It is a wolf, a loaf wolf.
A loaf wolf.
If you want to be specific, it is gosh, I have prep brain. What?
Rebels?
No.
Wait, what are we talking about?
His name.
The loaf wolf? Kanan Jarrus?
Yeah, but it's not Kanan. It's it's Kanan's actual name. Dune, yeah.
Dune. Also, I want to bring this up real quick. I'm watching you guys in the chat here. Liz said, "Will you do another hotel review for HHN?" So we were supposed to have these videos done, but because we've been very busy with personal things that we've had to deal with, unfortunately, we actually have this whole series that we're going to do, which is going to be our beginners of HHN. We actually have a list of videos ready to go. We just want to do some artwork and some graphics that we want to touch on. I don't know if we're going to have the time to get into those. We might just do our normal setup. But we're going to start diving into beginner stuff for HHN for you guys this year. I know last year we didn't really do that as much like we did back in HHN 30. So we'll get back into that, the hotels, what to bring, and of course, what is HHN and things like that. So we'll do a whole beginners thing for you guys. So if you have the questions on that, which you're more than welcome to ask us at any time, but we'll have videos going more into detail about that stuff to give you all the information in and outs and logistics of HHN that you need. So we do have that. Plus, I know people were talking about, I know USMC was talking about pizza fries, making them at home. We just recently bought Uncrustables.
Recently, as in today.
Today, we just got Uncrustables, and we may or may not be trying to create the No Chance in Hell PB&J at some point. I don't think we'll make a video for it or anything like that, or a live stream, but we may do it like on Instagram as an Instagram story. So look forward to that, because I opened one up today and I was like, oh, the memories start flooding in with just one bite.
Oh,
so
it's
good.
so good. Did you answer the question about the hotel review?
Yeah. That's what I was talking about.
I was
Liz,
reading comments. And then Chris said, do more in-depth food and drink reviews. I feel like you guys would be more reliable. Yeah, and we are planning on doing food and drink videos this year.
We haven't, like, we really want to do more food and drink stuff, but the reason why we haven't is because it's been, you know, at that time, Steph's been with her tracking and stuff like that. One, the food and drinks are really expensive, so for us to go to HHN and then purchase all the food and drinks is expensive. But we do plan this year, hopefully, to try to purchase all the food and all the drinks and give you guys our take. But real quick, the problem is, we usually don't plan to do our food and drink video stuff until the end of September or early October. That's just when we like to separate and actually do that day. But I know a lot of people like to do it in like the first week or second week. We personally just prefer to wait till like October and then dive into the food, because that's what gives us something to look forward to that we haven't really done in the event. So that's what we do. But we'll definitely do better in doing our food and drink videos, or we might even make it a 2-part series to show everything.
And I think when we do more of our like in-park vlogs, we might get like 1 or 2 things here or there that we didn't try, that we like haven't tried yet. So it might be more spaced out. I know when we do the food and drink videos, Brian really likes them. I always end up feeling sick at the end of the night. So I always end up like, after like 3 things, being like, I'm kind of done, just because I can't handle that much food. So
yeah, I mean, but like Steph's a healthy go girl, so it's like obviously the HHN food's not like the healthiest stuff for you. So having a lot of that stuff in one night is a lot, and
so we might spread it out a little bit more too.
And I try to be respectful about Steph's tracking and progress and stuff like that. So I don't try to put it on her like we need to do this for the video and stuff. Like, I'm not like that type of person either as Steph. So we're just kind of like, when we get to it, we'll get to it. We'll have fun with it. So we might, maybe, I don't know. We'll talk about it with you guys. We'll discuss on how we want to do the food and drink stuff, where we might possibly just do like sections, like trying the food and drink in the New York scare zone area. Then the next video, part 2, will be over here, part 3 here, part 4, maybe break them into more episodes and stuff like that. We'll see. We'll work on something logistic wise for that. So. But
hopefully they have the PB&J back again this year, because it's always been really good.
So
I honestly feel like they'll bring back the pizza skulls too. I feel like that was a huge hit last year.
Those were good. The second time we had them. The first time during media night was a
feel like the media night food, we couldn't even give an accurate because it was all like, it had been sitting there for a while. Some of it was cold and stale, so it's not really an accurate representation.
Also, see Mary Vavs in the chat. What's up, Mary? Welcome. Join. Also, Mr. Disney King said, any thoughts on HHN ending on Halloween night versus November 1st or November 2nd?
I like it being on Halloween night.
I'm cool with it being Halloween night, because Halloween night's on Tuesday, so it ending on November 1st, which is Wednesday, or Thursday, November 2nd. Don't really think that makes sense unless they extend it to that next weekend into November. I'm fine with that. The problem that I see, because they announced the dates, but they haven't had an actual calendar of the dates. So we don't know the actual days unless you go to single night tickets. You can see what days are available based on single night tickets. The problem that I see is they have that random Tuesday. So that last week, you have that whole weekend, then you have Monday, nothing, and then you have Tuesday. The problem I'm really frustrated. I hope that's something that'll change. But not having HHN that Monday night, which when you're at HHN, you go past midnight. That is the hour of Halloween. That's when Halloween happened. When we go from Hallows Eve into Halloween, that midnight from HHN, right? From October 30th to October 31st, it happens that night, which will be Monday night into Tuesday. And I'm amazed that when you look at these single night tickets in that calendar, that day's not available for purchase. Now, I'm hoping that means that they have something special planned and it might be an exclusive ticket, or yada, I don't know. But they haven't released the actual calendar for this year's event. They just said, this is where it's from, this day to this thing. I'm okay with it ending on Halloween night on that Tuesday, but that following day or the previous day, that Monday needs to have HHN. If they don't, HHN's screwing up again. Period. I'm gonna say it.
I think
I know
they're
watching. But
I think they will, even if it's not right now. I think they'll add it.
So yeah.
But yeah, someone, I don't know how to say this username, but I hope they have more vegan options this time. And I feel like a lot of the parks are getting more of those sorts of options, just more like vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, dairy-free,
like
things
all around.
like that.
Yeah.
Which is always good. And what's always good is when it actually tastes good.
Yeah.
Because sometimes they have a hard time making the allergy options taste good. And I believe that my favorite thing from last year was a vegan option, which was the
lentil.
Yeah,
coffin.
The lentil coffin was so good.
That was good.
So yeah, I hope they have more good options this year.
That's every year. That's always a toss-up. I'm not sure if the year is going to be good or not in food.
Yeah,
but
that's true.
Well, hopefully this year they've been doing better. Like theme parks in general have been doing better with their offerings. So I could see this year being good. Also, a lot of people realize we're talking about merchandise in the chat. Maybe we'll do merch. We've talked about it and stuff like that. We just don't feel like we're well known or big enough of a channel to even do merchandise in a sense. Also, if we were to do merchandise, one, we would want to wait till we become a bigger channel and stuff like that to even
be worth it
to do merchandise. Yeah, but the other thing is too, we really don't care to create merchandise based on our channel, but maybe something actually like related to Halloween Horror Nights, and it's like our merch line where it's like, it's not like Brian from Orlando, Brian and Steph or Honda. Like we want it to be that's like HHN. That's something like HHN would create. That's a freaking neat shirt that I would wear to like any Halloween event. We would probably do something more like that, like a true like clothing brand kind of style. Yeah. And then maybe we'll do a Brian from Orlando like simple thing or a hat or something. I'm not sure. But we don't really care to do like channel merch, but more in a sense of like, it's from our channel, it's created by our channel, but it's like true like merchandise.
It's not our name on it. It's stuff that we like.
Horror. Yeah. Maybe we'll put a big Hondo shirt. I don't know. Maybe.
That would be cool. Right. Also, we have not talked about the Lady Gaga Twitter thing, but I think that we think after looking at it that they just kind of like picked something to respond to that was like gibberish. I don't think it has any credence in terms of like, oh, Lady Gaga is going to be here this year.
Yeah.
At least I hope not. I really don't want that.
That actually reverts back to our Instagram little questionnaire thing that we did where somebody asked us a question about it. And I mentioned saying how I don't think it necessarily has to do anything with Lady Gaga, but how like Stephanie was saying where it's just gibberish. And they responded back with a picture that was something from HHN 30 that reminded me of when they did, this is when HHN was fun, when they did these announcements and speculations and they really teased the audience. They had this whole video thing going on and it made no sense. And their description was a bunch of like unknown symbols and stuff. And I wonder if there's something that we didn't solve that is still coming to the event. One of my things that I'm hoping, like if I was ever with HHN, if I was ever on creative with HHN, which would be a dream. So if anybody has some connections, like hit us up because I have a lot of, anyways, I'm pretty sure everybody has ideas. But one of those things that I was thinking of was HHN needs to kind of do like a Marvel phase plan where they'll have like, hey, for these next 5 years, we're going to be building hype up to an icon that's either already been featured or has never been featured. And these little announcements, these little teasers that we do are telling a bigger story, whether people decipher it or not, that is revealing something bigger to come in years, like future years down the road. And I feel like maybe HHN 30 could have been the start of that. And that's what that post really means, for people to go back and do some research on that. And those things can line up. So
Lily versus Brian House.
Lily versus Brian House. Actually, that'd be cool to have Lily and us as the icons of HHN. Right?
That'd be funny.
Kevin Diosi, what's up, my man? Welcome to the chat.
I like this idea of Hondo dressed as a classic monster.
See, we always like joke about how Hondo is our little vampire because like his teeth like sometimes like stick out the side, and I mean they're like big fangs.
And when he like leans his head back, his ears kind of look like make him look like a little bat.
Yeah, he's a little cutie and stuff. Maybe for Halloween this year we'll dress him up like a little vampire, and we'll go for a little walk and stuff, and do like family vampire photos. That'd be cute, right?
That could be cute.
As in, you don't want to do that. Aww,
We'll see.
Bummer. So, also, does it sound like the music died?
No. Maybe your
I think my headphone died.
Yeah.
Everything's dying.
Oh no.
Battery's out. The lightsaber's dead. Headphones are dead.
That's what happens when we're an hour and 40 minutes in.
Yeah, I didn't realize we were that long. So, anyways, huge shout out to all of you guys for joining us in today's live stream. I think we're going to start wrapping it up. It's already 10 o'clock here in the East Coast, but we know some of you guys who are watching, obviously, much later or even earlier, not too sure. But thank you so much for joining us in the live stream. Talked about a lot of things, Evil Dead Rise, some HHN logistics, future house announcement on the way. We talked a bit about our series and all that stuff. We have a goal getting to 5,000 subscribers before HHN, so big help if you guys can help us get to that goal so we can do a big live stream in August, because we want to do some things, and maybe even a special giveaway when we get to that 5,000 in August. We have some things planned, maybe something that you already see
An all
in the video.
expense paid trip to Universal Orlando for HHN.
Okay, I kid you not, if we got big enough of a channel for this, I kid you not, there'll be one lucky family that we would legit do an all-exclusive paid HHN weekend trip to HHN. That's something we talked about before we even did the channel.
Talked about that, yeah.
Where we're like, man, it'd be so cool if we just had the money to just pay for a family to come experience HHN. Why not? Like, spread the love. Let's get people at HHN. And they better love it. We're going to watch them. But yeah, like, hopefully we can get big enough and we'll do like a huge giveaway where we, save some of the
Probably
money.
Not at 5K.
No, that's going to be like 50K, maybe more. And we can start doing that yearly where we just pay for an all-inclusive fun trip, staying at the Hard Rock for 3 nights, flights included, tickets to HHN, and then maybe a night with us. And we get to go through houses and talk about stuff.
And they're like, no, that's fine.
Yeah, never mind. Nobody joins. All right, maybe not. You'll get to hang out with stuff. Anyways, yeah, so we talked about doing the goal for 5,000. If you guys remember, we're going to put you guys into the book here, Book of the Dead, which it's not the Book of the Dead, it's Book of something else. So be prepared for that. I don't want Evil Dead people coming at me saying,
yeah, no trade
lawsuit. Yeah, we don't want that. So anyways, thank you so much, guys, for joining us. We hope you guys have a good spooky Tuesday evening. Get ready for a house announcement. It's coming up very soon. Pretty soon. We'll put a poll up soon in our community posts and stuff. So I think that's gonna do it for us.
Yep.
Tonight's live stream. Usually we'd say, Hondo, come here. Come up here, Hondo.
Aww.
But he's upstairs. We're gonna go play with him. We're gonna beat him up. We're gonna fight him. And all that stuff. So thanks so much for joining us, guys. I think I've said that 10 times.
Yes.
That's gonna do it for us. Thanks so much for joining us, guys. That's gonna be I'm looking for the outro. Thanks, guys. Thanks for being here. Peace out, guys.
Bye.
Have a good night. All right, guys. That's it for us. Until the next video, can't wait to see you guys there. And like always, we'll catch you guys in the fog. Peace out, everybody.
Bye.